Hey, welcome to Thinking is Contagious. Watching a little bit of CNBC, as you can tell in the background, and just had a very interesting interview occur. And Deirdre Bosa of CNBC, who I like, I like the way she approaches things and the way she looks at things. She's pretty fair, but there was a little exchange just occurred, and that exchange, she was interviewing the CEO of C3 AI, which is a artificial intelligence software company, publicly traded, a company I like a lot. Um, and they were discussing the work from home format, advantages, disadvantages, position of productivity, how it affects productivity. And the CEO of C3 AI basically said that he was going to mandate people work at the office. That he thought that production would be affected by is affected, and he pointed to some studies, one involving IBM about 10 years ago or so, which seemed to indicate that workforce was much more productive in the office than remote. Anyway, he voiced his position, his concern, and she immediately jumped and she said, "So you're willing to not to lose to not hire someone that could be the most qualified simply because their one of their work criteria is that they need the flexibility to be able to work at home at least part of the time. You're willing to no longer hire the best in order to address in because they don't fit in with your criteria, because they don't check off the list of what you want." And to the credit of the CEO, he said, yes, we will refer them to our friends at Google and other places where they will give them that flexibility. Yes, we will forego hiring the person that doesn't want to be in the office. Deirdre Bosa, you, in a very short and succinct question, have really encapsulated what is the problem, and your words will be used by me at this point to ask that same question. Was the Vice President of the United States the best choice? When you say that you have a limitation as to who can be Vice President, a woman of color? Are the boardrooms, corporate America, workforces, are they going to be the most qualified and the best when there's a mandate to hire based on race and gender? You asked a perfect question, Deirdre Bosa. I'd like to get the answer to that question. And I'd like to get the answer to how that affects exactly what I have just mentioned. Because long-standing position of mine has been that the Vice President of the United States is not the most qualified person to be the Vice President of the United States. And the very words used by the President of the United States when he came out and said how he was going to choose his VP, his running candidate, is proof of that. And your question today is exactly my question to Joe Biden. And your question today, Deirdre Bosa, is exactly my question to corporate America when they're looking for directors, when they're looking for CEOs, COOs, when they're looking for management positions, when they're looking for labor positions, when they're looking for workforce positions. Is your mandate based on getting the best possible person for that job? Or is that somewhere down the road after race and gender? And again, as we have said, guess who loves that the first criteria be race and gender, or sexual preference, or political view? Guess who loves that? Those who are trying to overtake this country economically, socially, politically, culturally, leadership position across the board in the world. Those who are trying to pass this country, China, Russia, those who are trying to surpass America as the economic power of the world, they love that the first criteria be race, gender, sexual orientation, political leanings, before the most talented. And that is exactly the path we're going down. So to Deirdre Bosa, I say, I applaud your question. It is a great question because it is the question that I have been asking on this program for months. And Deirdre Bosa, your words succinctly, to the point, and very, very eloquently say that the Vice President of the United States is not the most qualified. Thank you. Have a good day. And think about what we just said.